Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start the conference by having the Lebanese anthem and the UBNs. So I would wait for the playing and I call you to stand up, please.
High Excellencies, the President of the Council of the Minister, Saad fi Hariri, represented by his advisor, Mr. Rashid Fayed, His Excellency Jamal Jarrah, the Minister of Telecommunication, represented by Neji Indrawos, General Saeed Qazah, Director of Research and Strategy Studies at the Lebanese Army, General Khair, the Chairman of Support Aid in Lebanon, distinguished international and local invited speakers, government officials, business leaders, members of the public and private sectors, cherished sponsors, namely Alpha, our Diamond One, followed by Silver, sponsor Central Bank of Lebanon, invited keynote speaker sponsor, the CNRS and CAMS. Last but not least, our guest, colleague, and students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Sawaf Chair in Business and Management at the Ulayyan School of Business, the Lebanese chapter of the American Association of Information Systems, the organizing and scientific committee of the Second International Conference on Cognitive Analytic Management, it is with a great honor and humility that we embrace you with our beautiful city on Lebanon, which is called the land of the cedars, where our ancestors created the alphabet in Byblos and spread it to enlighten the world. In the same spirit, we are pleased to bring to you and to the world the second biannual conference, the International Cognitive Analytic Management Conference, Disruptive Technology for Innovative Shared Value, following the successful launch of the first CAM 2016 in November 2016 at this time. So the cognitive analytic management term is innovation from this school to the world. And you will ask, what is CAM? CAM is a new, relevant, rigorous scientific approach. It is emerging from the increasingly interconnected communities and the continuing demolishes of the boundaries among scientific fields. It integrates concepts from artificial intelligence, business analytic, cognitive and behavioral sciences, big data analytic, computer sciences, data engineering, information system, operation, and research and management. What for? Is to focus on addressing business, government, and societal challenges. So we are looking from an end and going back to pull the relevant component to address societal challenges. It's a goal-based approach to generate data-driven insight and actionable innovation to make informed decision and policy recommendation in real time, contrary to the gut feeling approach. The cognitive process is to understand and frame a societal challenge in analytic terms and to define the desired shared values to all stakeholders. Some of you might ask, what is shared value? Shared value is a value to whole community, not only to shareholders. And this is at the new model between the pure business model, the pure philanthropy model, and the innovation, how to build a new business model based on win-win to increase trust and loyalty. The analytic process is to select the appropriate tool to describe what has happened, to predict what will happen, and to prescribe how it would happen. Here, it is very important. Based on your goal, you choose the appropriate tool. If you would like to identify best practices, you don't go for statistics that drop out the outlier, that for which you would like to capture to either to improve or mimic to suggest improvement. And if you want to get consensus, you need to go to mathematics to find the commonality across. So those terms are not very clear. So this is the objective of having all of these. Now, when you have cognition, analytics, if you don't have the insight without action, they are useless. In this case, we need the management process to support you, to advocate and implement policy recommendation. And this is really the linking between the three processes, because that manager are the people responsible in setting the goal, where to go, and to give you the support. Without them, you will be failing. We are having in the fourth industrial revolution of disruptive technology, ubiquitous high-speed mobile, internet devices, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. You know a lot of terms around here. The digital distribution or the digital disruption, it's what we call it in Lebanon tsunami, because we have tsunami word, it has been used a lot. It is changing the way we do things. We are having a new term that are transforming everything like smart city, smart municipality, smart world, and this is due to disrupting the operation at each level. It's accompanied by opportunities, challenge, and success stories. There's no free lunch. It provides us with great opportunities to conduct administrative reform if we wish to be in Lebanon. We can collect variety of data based on variety, value, velocity, volume, using smart devices to be analyzed by powerful computers. Data basically is the new oil of the future. It is increasing but not decreasing, where analytics is a refinery process to generate impactful insight to all shareholder, not only to all stakeholders, not only shareholders. Here are a few slides that I would like to show you the potential for Lebanon and for the whole world that may help us to supplement what I'm going to talk about here. Those are worldwide trend. I would like you to look at here what are the disruptive technology is bringing for us. They are the top 10 jobs are by 2022. The report has been out last September. It's showing that the top 10 jobs are data analytics, AI, machine learning, general operation manager, software application, and so on. They will create 133 million jobs worldwide. However, the top 10 declining jobs by 2022, there are 75 million are going to be taken away. The net is a positive gain for the community. So here, some jobs that are moving away, data entry, accounting, administrative executive secretaries, assembly line balancing, and so on. Auditing, those are type of job, if you are in them, you might need to retool and you tool yourself for a better job environment. Well, what are the largest top companies in the world? I would like to show you a comparison between 2008 and 2018. The top in 2008, the majority are energy company, and the top are PetroChina, Exxon, General Electric, China Mobile, all of them in the oil and energy sectors. While in 2018, the top 5 are all of them technology sectors. In Lebanon, we are looking backward. They are looking at the oil in the sea. They are not looking forward to the future. The future is technology. What are the capabilities of Lebanon? Lebanese are, according to the report by World Economic Forum in September 2018, we have the top, we are ranked among the top 5 in the world after Singapore, Finland, and Switzerland, above of my guest colleague in science and mathematics. However, that field, disruptive technology, require a term called STEM, science, technology, and engineering. In Lebanon, we are missing the technology, the engineering side, because, however, we have a decree by the Prime Minister a long time that we should introduce technology at the preschool level. I call upon administrative politicians to fill in this gap by reinforcing technology, knowledge, and skill at the preschools. Now, it's really pity to say something here about corruption and e-government. I took 2 countries that I consider myself belonging to, UK and Lebanon. And I have put data from 2004, 2018. You can see there's a strong correlation or movement between the high ranking in e-government and the high ranking in the corruption index, which is called Transparency Corruption Index. You see the bottom line. If you have a high rank in e-government, then you'll have high rank in transparency. If you have a low rank in e-government, you have a low rank in corruption. The pity, you see the red line, or the blue, the top one. We have increasing corruption index in Lebanon. So we are sadly moving in the wrong direction. And we'll say that why I'm putting this slide, this will be the motivation to move for electronic government in Lebanon, because we want to reach the bottom line, not the top one. I move back to other things. So
Upon those remarks, so I will call for Lebanese to take some action on implementing technology decree, implement e-government to fight corruption. We have UAE has created a minister for artificial intelligence. If we cannot reach that level, can't we have a center for decision making at the Prime Minister office? At least to avoid the erroneous, the fatal mistake that happened last year by the House of Parliament. They estimated the salary increase by an X to be found this year is 200% of the old value. So you cannot have error so much in 1 year. This is lack of data integration and data quality. So we can do better in 1 second if you have the integrated system in place. Now, finally, let us embrace the digital disruption. It's no longer an option for anyone in the world, either to be digital or not to be. So you have to be a digital transformer, disruptor. We should not have a fear. Even Winston Churchill said, success is tumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. So we should learn from our failure to succeed. And then you have the Tunisian poet Abdus Salam al-Shabi who said, whoever fear climbing the mountain, then you would remain all the time in the hole at the low level. So you have to decide where to be. Do you want to be at the top, world leader, or do you to be at the bottom of the world leadership? Where do you want to go? This is a decision for all of us to think of and the government. So what's new in Camp 2018? We have invited 3 top academic professionals to train attendees on hot topics yesterday, like artificial intelligence, blockchain, cryptocurrency. That was a training day. Today and tomorrow, over 1 day and a half, we have invited 20 top distinguished forward-thinking professors and professionals and high excellencies to discuss contemporary issues of relevance to Lebanon and to learn from best practices in Denmark, UK, Lebanon, UAE, and so forth. So we have selected, after reviewing 44 papers that were submitted out of 60. So this was the conference combining rigor and relevance. We have the academic contribution, we have the professional, we have the training. Those are the pillars that we have adopted in the design of the conference. 2018, Camp 2018 would not have been possible without the support of many people, including the patronage of this conference, His Excellency Jamal Jarrah. He is the one who sponsored us through Alpha. The Central Bank, the National Center for Scientific Research, and the Center of Applied Mathematics. And the excellent support from our Dean, Steve Harvey. We are also grateful to CAM's 2018 Scientific and Organizing Committee, and in particular to our Dean, George Aoun, the Dean of USG. He is the co-chair of the conference. And to Dr. Tani Harfouch, who is the co-chair for processing the papers. Also, thanks goes to AUB and OSB staff, in particular, Rasha Bossri, Nada Khaldi, Joanna Raishuni, and the director of our communication and her staff, Kintia Shmeir-Tildi. Finally, you are welcome again to Camp 2018. For many of you, this may be the first visit to Lebanon. I trust you will enjoy your stay and you will have a pleasant time while enjoying the international hospitality of Lebanese. You know, Lebanese have some jewels, contributions to the world. Hopefully we will test them in food-wise or historical site. So please enjoy yourself and you are welcome. While I happen to be playing a second role as moderator for this session, whereby I would welcome the Dean of our business school, Professor Steve Harvey, to welcome you on behalf of both as well, AUB and OSP. You are welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Osman. Well, it's always a great pleasure to welcome people to our university and to our School of Business. Again, always gives me great pleasure to welcome people, particularly such an esteemed group as yourselves. So to our esteemed guest, our distinguished guest, our excellencies and the representatives, colleagues, students, friends, researchers, and scholars from around the world, welcome to our event. This event is important to us for a number of reasons because it feeds into our mission as a business school. And our mission as a business school is quite deliberate. It's to enable, very clearly, to enable research, learning, and knowledge transfer from our authoritative anchor point within the MENA region. And there are a number of ways in which we do that, and of course there are a number of ways in which we know that we've done well at that. We know that we've done well at the research because we continue to reach new heights and recently received recognition and research awards, international awards for our research and the innovativeness of that research, so we're quite proud of that. Our students, over the 150-year history of this university, have continued to make enormous change in the region, and they continue to, and now increasingly so, as graduates from our business school, and we're very proud of that. So that certainly covers what we understand to be our learning mission, and more importantly, to all of those two things, in all aspects of those two things, the third component, which is knowledge transfer, which I think today represents enormously. And knowledge transfer is our responsibility to engage in the sharing of knowledge in society, both the knowledge that we produce and the knowledge that is generated in society and is transferred through and discussed through the walls of a university, a scholastically determined, and if you wish, relevant university. And today is an interesting approach to disruption or digital disruption. We often, and I have often over the past decade attended lectures where we hear about technology, we hear about the importance of technology's change to our world, how it's going to essentially usurp the world that we have known and create a world that is still unknown to us. And we are quite focused on the technology and on the importance of the skill sets that we develop going forward, and we talk about the change that is going to occur. Rarely do we talk about, or have we talked about, what I think this conference is pushing towards, and that's an examination of the systems within that change is going to occur. So when Professor Osman presented his notion of such a system, cognitive, analytics, and management, it is one perspective, and there are perhaps other perspectives, but it's an attempt to transfer our knowledge of disruption within a framework of understanding and agreement that attacks something that I think is very important in his model, and that's the shared values that we have as a society. There are many, many individuals who will be impacted, have influence, or be, if you wish, influenced or impacted positively and negatively by this new revolution, and having a shared responsibility of how we generate and move with data and information going forward becomes extremely important. So we may not have solutions, we may not have the the way of doing so perfectly as a result of this conference, but surely we're on the way to discussing the right kind of things that we need to be discussing more and more of, I think. And one amendment to what Dr. Osman presented, I think, is something very important as we move forward in this era of disruptive environments that we are in, is the notion that we do expect and do need our students, our citizens of tomorrow, to know more about technology, to have greater savvy about technology. And we know that from the predictions of the jobs, that 50% of the jobs that we have now are not going to exist in 2030. I really don't think the jobs should be the focus, but rather the skill sets that people will have to be able to make a difference in 2030 is what's going to matter. And if you move away from the jobs and you look instead at the skill sets, two things are very clear. One of which is the importance of technology. It is the most important thing that we need to be training and talking about in our schools. The second most important thing, which gets neglected, and it's almost counterintuitive, is the emotional intelligence component. The importance of having compassion and bringing that compassion to the interface of technology and humanity is going to be extremely important. So let's not forget, when we're talking about digital disruption, that it is a partner in our future and not a determined aspect of our future, that our humanity is going to be based to a large extent on that emotional intelligence component and how we navigate with technology moving forward. So I hope this conference is an opportunity for you to share your technical knowledge, your expertise, and bring it to the fore. But I also hope it's an opportunity to talk about these shared values, to talk about the notion that there are other things that we need to talk about in reference to our great advances. Welcome to Lebanon, welcome to OSB, and welcome to the American University of Beirut. It's a great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you.
Since following our dean, since our objective is to impact the community and get the decision maker involved in the process, creating awareness and learning, we have tried to get the Prime Minister to be here on board. He has decided at 1 o'clock last night that he has not to come for uncertainty that we all live in Lebanon. However, he said that his Jewel, his supportive person, who has been on to serve on the 2 o'clock, I guess, I don't know when, he was called. So, you know, this is a commitment to Lebanon. We have a great leader who commit to serve, and he's one of them. You are welcome to say 1 word, 2 words on his behalf.
أنا هحكي بالعربي وبعتذر اللي ما بيعرفوا عربي مش هقدر ترجم له لأنه لغتي الإنجليزية لغة مكتسبة بالممارسة وليس بالدراسة وما مكتسبة بشكل كافي. صباح الخير للجميع. كان الرئيس سعد الحريري يود أن يكون بينكم اليوم لأنه بتعرفوا من الأمور اللي بتهمه تماماً وبتابعها هي التطور التكنولوجي والتطور العلمي. ومنتذكر كلنا انه ايام الرئيس الشهيد كان في مشروع لاقامه سيليكون فالي بمنطقه جنوب او بالشوف. نعم الدامور تماما. فهذا حلم ولبنان من اوائل الدول، مش اوائل، اول دوله عربيه حكت بالحكومه الالكترونيه. وللاسف النزاعات السياسيه او التجاذب السياسي يقضي على افكار عظيمه، لأنه هذا الشعب برغم كل السيئات المنسوبة إليه أو السقطات أو الهينات هو شعب خلاق، وهذه ميزته الأساسية عبر التاريخ. وما في بلد بالعالم توصل عليه بتقول له أنا لبناني الأول فكرة بتخطر على بال اللي عم يسمع إنه أنت عندك شيء خلاق، عندك شيء مختلف. هلا طبعا أحيانا نخلط بين الانتهازية والشطارة والجد والتعب، واحيانا لا، في ناس حتى ما نظلم حالنا ودائما نبكي انه نحن يعني غشاشين أكثر منا ناجحين. لا، نحن ناجحين وفي كتار بيشتغلوا بجدية، والدليل أنه بيتقدموا بالمجتمعات الأخرى بكفاءاتهم مش بتذاكر هويتهم، سواء الأصيلة اللبنانية أو المكتسبة. اللي حابب اختصر فيه أنه الرئيس كان يود أن يكون مشاركا معنا هون. للأسف تعرفوا أنتم في مرحلة تكليف ومشاورات تحت الطاولة وفوق الطاولة، وفي مستجدات باللحظة الأخيرة. حتى أنا امبارح كنت يعني مشارك بديبا على تي في فيوتشر تي في، فوجئت لما خلصت الساعة 11:30 12 إلا ربع عم بطلع بالتليفون بلاقي متصلين فيه الساعة 10 وأنا كنت داخل الاستوديو. ففي أمور طوارئ تحتم أحيانا إسقاط بعض المواعيد أو الاعتذار عنها. طبعا الموضوع كتير بهمنا كلبنانيين، بهم الرئيس سعد الحريري لأنه هاجسه الحقيقي هو التطور. وأنا باعتقادي المتواضع أنا يعني أتعاطى بالصحافي والسياسي ولا أتعاطى بالتكنولوجيا والتقدم العلمي. براقب بتطلع بس ما كتير بستوعب، عفوا يعني، بس هيدي طبيعة الناس. بعتقد هيدي خطوة عظيمة وتشجع على التقدم. بعتقد كل ما التكنولوجيا تدخلت في العلاقة بين المواطن والدولة، كل ما سمحنا بإنقاذ الدولة من براثن الفساد والرشوة والسقوط والتهالك مثل ما عم نشوف حاليا. للأسف عم يساهم بهالأمر إبقاء الحياة السياسية معلقة بشروط فعلا لا معنى جديا لها سوى إعاقة ولادة الحكومة وإعاقة إعادة الانطلاق والنهوض الاقتصادي اللي نأمل ونتمنى أن يستأنف في أقرب وقت ممكن. شكرا لكم جميعا.
Well, I would like to thank you very much for your supportive and enlightening word on his behalf. In this period now, we are going to give a present that will take it to the Prime Minister in return for his support. So let me find where. And then in this case, we can take a photo as well for the press at the same time. All the team can come forward. أهلا وسهلا أستاذ ناجي. ناجي إندراوس, you are welcome.